Sir Rod and Lady Z. It's not about you, it's not about me, it's about we. And God we trust.
We own the rights to this music.
Every Wednesday night, every Friday night, every Monday night, every Wednesday night.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Guess what? It's Let's Talk About It Wednesday. I am so excited today because guess what? It's all about the girls. I'm just letting y'all know that I am still 100% in support with them to make things happen. This is all about them talking about what y'all need to know. I want y'all to know that also from now on we start at 7 o'clock. So everyone who's probably seeing the misprint, guess who fault it is? Mine. But that's what it's all about. We just moving forward. So I'm excited and we get ready to do it. I can't wait to let these girls do what they do. Guess who y'all got in the house today? Queen T. That's right. Christy Love. And they brought a special guest in, which I'm not, that's a surprise. I'm going to let them introduce her because that ain't my business. Love you. Y'all do what y'all do. Come on, get in this seat, girl.
Hey, all right,
Yeah.
Rodney. Hey guys, welcome to People to People. Let's talk about it. It's us women talking about real things, and today we're talking about gender roles.
Yes, gender roles we are. How everybody doing? Thank you for tuning in. It is Wednesday, and we have a special guest. Her name is Nikki C. Everybody, welcome.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
All
I'm
right.
excited. Let's go.
Yes, definitely. Going to be another girl talk, keeping it real with you people to people. All right. So we was deciding, just sitting around talking about gender roles. And before we start, I just want to actually throw out there, when you hear us talking, if you catch anything that you want to ask questions about, tips, advice, please call in 703-752-6162. Okay? And also, we are accepting Cash App. Let's support each other. You had the Cash App is the $ RG1960. So definitely want to, catch in with that as well.
Yes, please
Alright.
do.
So gender roles. So how do you feel about gender roles? Do you think people really paying attention to that in today's time?
I think so. I think as us younger generations, like versus our parents, I think some people feel that gender roles are kind of old fashioned and people want to get away from that. But I'm old fashioned.
Yeah.
I'm a Southern girl. I believe in the man is the head of the household, and I am his queen. I stand beside him.
Uh-oh.
we have a caller.
That was fast.
That was fast.
All right.
Hey, caller, welcome to People to People. Join the talk. What's up?
Hey there, how are you?
I'm good. Is this Lisa? Lisa?
Yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
hello, Lisa.
Hey.
Hi, Lisa.
Hello, ladies.
Hey.
So, how do you feel about gender roles? You're as a wife and as a woman.
I do like gender roles to a certain extent. My husband and I do have certain things that we do, but let me say this: how can I say it? We do jump in when the others don't. For example, my husband handles the cars, or he cooks, and I clean the house. But if he can't do something with the cars, then I know how to do it, then I step in.
Oh, okay.
So I don't just rely on him to change my oil or change the tire because I know how to do that.
Yeah, that's really important. Yes.
Mhm.
And just as like, what do you think about the younger generation? I know a lot of people think the younger generation doesn't really feed into gender roles.
Um, Again, I do think that they should at least know how to cook and clean and do things just in case the other
Yeah.
spouse doesn't or
Yeah.
can't. Suppose someone gets sick,
Yeah.
and does that mean something is going to be left undone? But um, gender roles do work, especially if you have kids, you know. But I don't think it should be just limited to one person doing everything. That's how I feel.
Oh, well, thank you for calling, Lisa.
Yes, thank
you
you.
so much.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good day.
Have
You
a good
do the
evening.
same.
All right,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye.
Yes, I definitely agree. I have a little bit of old school in me because
You too?
I
Yeah.
do still like the doors to be open. If I'm walking on the sidewalk, you need to be more closer to the cars. I'm a lady, so I do still agree with that as well.
Do the
What do y'all
guys
think?
like pick up on that? Like when you're dating, do like the younger men, do they understand that concept?
I feel like it's a fit. It depends. You have some that does. I do come across some that is aware still of that, and then there's others where you might notice probably wasn't brought up. You got some that don't care to think to do that. I notice it just depends on the individual. But I do express that's what I like, without being mean about it. But I like to express that I'm a lady. I like to be treated that way.
So I think that kind of dives into our first topic. Like,
Yeah.
I know that we kind of discussed prior, like old school versus new school,
Yep.
and the gender roles that come in between that. How do you feel about that? Like, what are some of the things that we do now as the younger generation? What are some of the things that we do now versus back in the day? The older relationships or the couples back in the day. Like, how do you compare? How did you feel about that? Like, as far as how we're treated and versus how they were treated back in the day as women.
I feel like it was more control because it was more known for the man to go out and work and the woman just stay home and take care of the kids. Versus now, it depends on that woman. Some want to go out and chase her career. She wants to work and also take care of the household. And then you have some woman that still wants to be taken care of and be a housewife. So I feel like I feel like nowadays people are more aware of what they kind of want, but you do still have some are still stuck in those traditional ways.
Yeah.
But I would definitely say more people are aware now of what they want, especially women. Because we can show now that we can work, but also take care of home.
Absolutely.
Which means we just have more hats. I
Yeah,
mean,
definitely.
ain't nothing wrong with that, but I am a Southern person, but I do like to have, you can have a career. So my mom's Southern woman. She serves my dad hand and foot,
Right.
but she goes to work and, she lets him take the lead, but thank God my dad is very modern, so he's just like, hon, if you want to take the lead, go ahead, show me.
Yeah.
But she can do it all. I don't know. We have a lot on our plates, but it's okay. I mean, as long as the man respects me and still treats me like his queen, I'll take care of the house. I'll cook. I'll clean. I will serve. Now, back in the day, I got slapped in the face because I said,
Oh.
"Mom, why are you serving my dad hand and foot?" And it's just why are you doing that? And now I find myself doing that with my boyfriend, and the answer she gave me is because I love him and I enjoy doing it. And now that I'm older, like, I don't see a problem with that. It's not because I'm a female and I should be cooking. I do it because it has nothing about gender roles. It just feels comfortable to me.
Yeah.
And I just want to make sure my man is fed.
So you would say that it don't matter for you, as far as if you're going to be a housewife or you want to be the one that's going out working and taking care of home?
Well, I've been a housewife through 2 marriages. And so the first time I wasn't able to go out or do anything, so that was more of a controlling situation with my last husband. It was my choice if I wanted to stay home or work, and I had worked, and it was a very stressful job. I worked at Khaki, and he was just like, you know what? If you want to stay home, it's okay. But what I chose to do is make sure I still brought money into the house because I did not want my husband stressed out. So I had a daycare.
Okay.
So I was still at home. I was a stay-at-home mom, but I had, the children running around, and, I was still bringing income in. So my personal opinion is if you're going to be a stay-at-home mom, just to help the marriage and have less arguments and less stress on your man, just find a way, even if it's selling Avon, just to have additional income in the house, or if you want some pocket money.
Yeah. Another thing is, I don't think it's nothing wrong with a woman being a housewife, especially if that's what she want to do, but you definitely don't want to forget about yourself, you know. So if it's still something at home you want to study, or if you want to get more into your craft, I feel like definitely still do that. Don't forget about yourself, and you can also take care of home, your man, and the kids.
That's a very good point.
And I kind of feel like nowadays we're kind of forced to be like more dominant. We're forced to like step up to the plate and do things ourselves. Like back in the day, I felt like that men made it clear, and they actually, went to work every day, and they actually provided for their families, and did the things that they had to do for their family. I'm not saying that men nowadays aren't doing that. However, I just kind of feel like as being a single female, like we have to understand that no matter what, like stuff has to get done with or without a man. And
Exactly.
I think by us having that mindset, it kind of makes us level up, automatically, because depending on what type of female you are, you either going to sit around and do nothing, or you're going to do what you have to do to get out here to support yourself and your family. So it's just,
And
it's funny.
It gets weird because then I'm told by other men that I'm alpha female, but I'm not. It's like I just don't have anybody taking care of me. And even if you're my man,
Right.
if I feel like I'm about to fall and you can't catch me, I have to be the alpha female by default. Because I have to think logically. I have to be the man and the woman of the relationship. I have to be the head of my household. I have to carry all that stress.
Absolutely.
So if a female don't know what is an alpha female and what is those roles, how would you describe that?
Okay, well, first of all, it's not a negative
First of
word,
all.
everybody. First of all, so alpha female is not a negative thing. It's just I choose not to be one because I don't want to carry everything. I feel like there's a difference between alpha female and just being a person that's outgoing. So I'm outgoing, and I just choose not to be an alpha female, but I have to be for survival mode. Like my testosterone kind of kicks in for safety and protection because I have to do that for myself. But there's other alpha females that like handling their finances. They can buy their house. They can handle the bills. Basically, they can do everything and still have energy to go start multiple businesses. And they're still sweet people, or they're there's some people that are just straightforward, very logical thinking alpha females. They're just, I hate to say it, but they're the women who wear the pants.
Yeah.
So do you feel like it depends on the man that you're dating? Because sometimes, depending on who we're dating, like, you know how some men we may date and we love that protection, that security, and depending on the guy, we're more, how can I put this? We're more in tune with them, due to the fact of how they treat us as women.
Yeah.
So do you feel like it depends on the man you date as well? I want to hear from both of you. Whoever want to answer first.
So, like, do it depends what type of dude you dating if you an alpha female?
Yeah, like,
Definitely, I do feel it depends, because alpha is almost, well, I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but to me, I think of a leader. Definitely came across where that man will definitely take that lead, and where I don't feel I have to be so much of an alpha because I feel like, okay, he got it. I don't know,
That
he just
feels
taking
so
that
good.
lead. He just
That
taking that
feels
lead
so
where
good.
it
Yes.
feels like some weight is lifted off, like, oh my gosh, I don't gotta worry about this and that. Okay, so, and you also can come across where it is some males where you have to kind of be more of an alpha female and take that lead. It definitely depends on the individual and their experience. And we have a caller.
Yeah, that's why.
That's right.
Hey, caller.
Hello,
Welcome to
hello.
People to People. What's up?
Hello, ladies. How you doing?
Uh-oh.
Good.
Hey,
How are
hey.
you?
I'm sitting and I'm enjoying the program, and I want to ask a question about the man looking at the woman these days being so dominant.
Mm-hmm.
Why are the women today, I hear them so that they say so many times that they do not need
A
a
man.
man.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Yes, men get so mad about
Right.
that.
The woman said they don't need a man, but the man is the king
Mm-hmm.
and the woman is the queen. But the woman sometimes want to take charge. Can you tell me why the lady forget her position?
Her position. Her position. What is her position? You're gonna have to please give us more. I would like to understand.
Where the position is in the house, the lady supposed to stay in her place, and what she do, she cook, she cleaned, right?
Yeah.
In this room where, for me, this is what I expect from the woman.
Okay.
Well,
So
go ahead, continue.
I just say I see you're nice ladies, but I've noticed in the daytime that the women they just want to be in control and they don't want to stay in their place.
Stay in there.
Well, it depends on the female because you do have some women who do like to be in control. And I just want to say normally when you have women like that, it's because that's what she's used to doing, taking care of things herself. And it probably normally wasn't a male figure or enough males around to take care of things for her. So she's so immune to getting it done herself, taking care of herself. She's not about to wait around for somebody to keep saying, I got you, and you don't even see when he got you, you know? So a lot of women is not definitely waiting around for people to keep explaining themselves and giving excuses. If you got somebody, you're going to do it without a whole bunch of talking. And I feel that's what a real man does. And if he say it, he going to be about his word with his actions backing it up. So I feel if it was more men that was really doing that and women is still being controlling, then that just shows she just over the top controlling because it do take a while to break some women down to allow a man to step in and have that control. So that does happen, but nine out of 10, if a woman do say a man is taking care of things for her, even if she wasn't used to it, she will fall back and let that man be a man. But like I said, if you still see signs that she's not, then she is just a controlling person and she want to stay that way, and that's never good. But
And just to elaborate a little bit on what she was saying, I also feel like it's a protection thing as well because us as women, we're like we always have to be on guard, especially when it comes to dating different men. We don't know, what we're going to face towards. So it's just like we have to protect ourselves. Like, sometimes we may have to be a little dominant. Sometimes we may have to be a little direct, and men may not like that. However, it's just something that we just naturally used to doing, like she
yeah.
said.
Yeah.
So,
And I think the comment when women say, I don't need a man, it's not that we don't need you. It's just it's we don't mean it as negative as it sounds, but we women get to be independent as well. So if we don't choose to stay in our place, we can choose to be independent and do something else. So it's a choice. And if they say I don't need a man, it's also a good thing because it's saying I'm with you because I love you,
Yeah.
not because I need you to pay my bills and I
Yep.
need you to do this.
It's not always a bad negative
It's
thing.
not. So it depends how the lady is saying it, and you should maybe get to ask them to elaborate on what they mean. Because when I used to say it, I don't say it anymore because it really hurts men's feelings, and I realize that. But when I say it, I mean it as I'm with you because I love you and I choose you.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely can live by myself without a man. Like I need my father and other things, but
Yeah.
as far as sex, taking out the trash and fixing my car, There's car dealerships. I do take out my trash. I do pay my bills. I have to do everything by myself because I'm not married anymore. And therefore, I do not need a man. However, when I'm with a man or I choose to be around a man, I definitely appreciate it and love that. And I respect that. And I love my king that's in my life. And it's
Yeah.
because I choose to, not because I do need him.
It's like a plus one, like an addition.
Ladies, but what I say with the ladies, I appreciate when the lady is humble. I appreciate when the lady is respectful and let me be in my place. I like when she know how to bring the best out of me, but not make it so that it's me having to compete with her to show my manhood. So, for my country, we have a tendency to put the lady in the lady's place, and she continue to stay there and know when to do her duties. And the man do the same thing. But since I come to America, I find that the ladies here are very aggressive sometimes, and sometimes with you, maybe the word I think is intimidating.
Intimidating?
Yes. I think that's what they do. But I thank you. I did call.
Okay.
I find this very interesting. I really wish that my lady was here to listen so she can learn to do something, and we don't fuss about who's in charge. But thank you.
Yeah. I hope she can watch the replay. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for calling in.
Thank you for calling. You know what I was thinking? It also brings me up to like when we date. So that to me is like a conversation you would start off or you would notice when you're dating, because there's different types of dating. If you know the kind of person you want, let's say you're a person who's a homebody and you're dating somebody who likes to be a go-go-goer, that's already maybe might not be a good match, or there'll be a conversation on how you can balance that in the relationship.
Right. You know what? I was just talking to my sister about that as well. I just was like, so is that something you talk about when you get in a relationship or before? And she definitely agreed with me before.
Absolutely.
And I agree, because that way now you can see what roles now. Y'all both want to be playing.
You get exactly.
Because like you said, if one is more cleaner, then you know, okay, who's probably going to be taking more of the cleaning. But that don't say the other one don't need it too. Right. But it probably will be somebody who had that role where they y'all doing more of the cleaning. Whoever, like she said, whoever cooks the best and like to cook the more, then they probably most likely be the one that had that role of cooking more in the household.
Nikki, I was telling you about my son. You remember I was telling you about, so my son, he does believe in gender roles.
Yeah.
But he's not as strict on it. Like, the woman can...
That might be him.
I know.
Let's see.
Yep.
Hi, caller. Welcome to People to People. How are you?
Wonderful. Good evening, ladies. How are y'all doing today?
Good.
Wonderful.
Good.
How are you?
I am wonderful. I'm just calling on listen. This is Richard, by the way.
Hi, Richard.
Hey, how y'all doing? I'm just enjoying the conversation. And I just heard the last caller as well. And, you know, how he said it, I think offended, you know, not offended, but, you know, caught you guys by surprise. But it is something about, you know, I assume when he said my country, I assume he's from one of the, maybe the countries in the Africa or the Caribbean.
Probably.
And it is something, you know, that he said was, you know, kind of resonating about, you know, like he don't want to compete with a woman for his manhood because as you ladies were just speaking about being alpha females and, you know, having to do things being a single woman. When you meet a man and, you know, and once again, a alpha man or a man who, for lack of a better word, knows his place, you know, as a king. And he gets those vibes, as the man said, you know, sometimes being an independent American woman, and, you know, we don't have to get in all the factors that, you know, causes those things to be, but it can come off as, you know, aggressive or intimidating. And, you know, you mentioned saying, okay, well, I don't really need you. I want you. And, you know, myself. So we got to be, I guess, really aware of how we present ourselves and how we present our past experiences to allow people to, break down those walls of, women having to be so dominant, and actually men having to be so dominant too, because I know in other cultures, like, the men are kind of dominant, and as he put it, they put their woman in their place, and, that's a two-way street. I agree in some ways, and I don't agree. But one thing that I feel is important, when we talk about relationships is, agreeing, and agreeing. And there's one scripture, I'm very biblical. There's one scripture that says, wives, submit to your husbands. And when you think of the word submit, people automatically assume controlling. But in the way they meant it was wives agree with your husband.
Absolutely.
And so if it's hard to agree with somebody when everybody's independent. Okay, well, I can do this myself. Well, I don't want to do this. I want to do it my way. You know what I mean? Okay, you can do it your way, but that's going to cause a disagreement, and it just goes two-way street. Like I said, my father was one of the men who said my mother doesn't have to work. He said, I'm going to go out and provide for you, just stay home and take care of the children. But because my mother had so many talents, after a while, he was like, okay, yeah, you can go to school, you can start your own business, and she was able to do that and still take care of the house. So I think if there, when we're talking about roles, there has to be some kind of understanding what works for the individual couple, not,
and that's what we were talking about when you date, to talk about it.
What worked in Africa, what worked in, in your mother's and father's relationship. No, the specific relationship has to be tailored to the individuals involved. And those roles can be defined by each individual.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I definitely agree.
And you're talking to Southern women that we don't mind having, our men take care of. I just wish I had one. I don't have one right now that actually, takes the lead. And I always am open to it. And that's why I don't say that comment anymore, because I said it hurts men's feelings. But
I think
100%, I agree with you.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But I really do. I agree 110% what he's saying. I think it all boils down to communication.
Yep.
And I think that's one of the reasons why I always said, me and my homegirl always spoke about this, but I always said that, and she said this as well, she actually turned me on to this, but she always said, or we both always said that that's why we need a friend first.
Yep.
Because in those friend stages, when you're just genuinely friends, that's where you get to actually get to know each other. Get to know the do's and the don'ts and the haves and have-nots and, things like that. So I just think it all boils down to communication. And then while you're in that friend stage, that also give you the opportunity to figure out whether or not you want to be with this person or whether you just want to keep them in the friend zone, as we call it.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
So I agree with you 110%.
And define those relationships and define those roles. Like, what do you expect out of a woman, or what do you expect out of your man? Because I've been in situations where my mate said, well, my man doesn't do that, or a man doesn't do this, or a man doesn't do that, and that those ideas came from her perception of what a man is, or what her relationship with her man, whether it was her mother and father, and she's basing what I supposed to do on what her father did, or the situations like that, if I'm making sense, where we have these preconceived notions in our mind of what a woman is supposed to be, and we want to change our mates into what we think that woman or a man is supposed to do because of our own experience, because of our own preconceived notions, or our own observations of other type of relationships.
Yep. And everything you said is what my son did. He's now 24. And he really got tired of women dummying him down. And basically, feminists, his best friend was a feminist. And they were really bad on him because he didn't have a degree. And he's a man that really believes in taking care of his woman. And he was like, I'm going to buy a house, when I get married and have everything stable for my wife. And he's really... So what he did was he had the conversation. He says, I'm tired of taking women out and they're just putting me down. And so he said, the next time I go out, I'm laying everything on the table. This is what I believe. He's old-fashioned. He wants to be the head of the household, not controlling about it. If the woman cooks, he cooks with her.
Nice.
He does everything with her. But now he's pre-engaged because he had that conversation and everybody knows their role in the relationship.
All right.
Yeah, that's big. That's big. But I'm not going to hold the call. But it's definitely been a pleasure talking to y'all again.
We appreciate your
Yes,
phone call. Thank you for
definitely.
adding the view of a minister and a male. Thank you so much for adding value.
Thank you, Richard.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. All right. So, Lady Z, we have some comments over there.
Yes, you do.
All right.
And the first one is from Walter Shepard. He says, beautiful and smart ladies.
Oh, thank you.
And we welcome Beth Roots. She says, hello, ladies. And Lisa has a couple of things. She said, it's all about expectation. Women are supposed to be helpers, but are not supposed to have a position. Yes, all about the delivery. Yes, and you also need to know what kind of person you are and what you're attracting.
Absolutely.
Yes. Thank you, everybody who comment. Thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all, let's go deep now.
I'm ready to go deep. I'm ready to talk about.
Because-
Go ahead, tell us.
We need to start talking about approach, intimacy.
Yes.
Who role is to start the sex, or the dates, all of that. Let's talk
You-
about
y'all
it.
go ahead. Let me take
Who
a sip.
gender role is that? Say no. Okay.
So can we just hop right into it?
Yeah.
Go
All
ahead.
right, sex.
So who's approaching it? Since we're talking about sex, so what gender is approaching that? Is that a male or a female?
Well, let's trigger it back a little bit.
Okay.
Let's talk about when you first meeting an individual. So say if you're out with your girls and you have, a few males that's out with their homeboys and you guys find each other attractive.
Right.
How do you guys first feel about a female approaching a male? Like us as women,
Oh,
or
okay.
how do you feel about approaching a male when you're out having a good time with your girls? You might have a couple of drinks, flowing.
Right.
And you may have a little confidence in you.
Yeah.
So how would you, how do you feel about
I
that?
feel like it's two ways with me. It definitely depends on my mood. I'm a real laid back kind of chick, so I don't really put too much out there. But I definitely would either start off with a conversation, or I also like to be goofy, so I like to make people laugh and smile. So it depends, but I definitely sneak a little conversation in there. Oh, hey, how you doing?
Okay.
Especially if they got a nice dish, that looks good. Just start a little nice friendly conversation. I wouldn't recommend being too loose and out there, but definitely make the conversation fun and a little flirtiness going to see their vibe, and then go with that flow.
All right, I like that.
What about you, Chrissy?
And why wouldn't you want them to be a little looser, a little bit? I mean,
If that's your style, definitely, but be smart about it, because you don't want to be at the bar and getting too drunk and stuff like that. I just just play it smart. Definitely do your thing.
Know your
If you're
location
grown,
and what's going on.
If you're grown, just make sure friends know. At least I'm going here. Be safe about it. Use protection. But I just would first feel that guy out first before I'm gonna show that other side.
So how would you feel about that? Like if you're out with your girls having a few drinks and you find a guy that you see a guy that you're very attracted to, how would you approach him, or would you approach him?
I have approached them, and now that I'm older, and this was just a few years ago, but
Let's talk about it.
let's talk about it. I don't know. My boyfriend might be watching.
We're talking before you, boyfriend.
We were on a
talking
break.
before you.
Okay, before I was. Okay, yeah. We talking
Before
before.
you, yep.
So years and years ago, like before the boyfriend, before the husband.
Yes.
I would. So I didn't go to bars, but I would approach people. If I saw I watch them. So this is the thing I do. I people watch. Because I got to see what you're doing low key. I need to know how you work. If I see you at a store and you're an employee, or you work somewhere, or if I've seen you over and over again. And then if you have business shoes, I'm sorry, I look at your shoes. I look at your hands.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's
Because I'm Southern. I want to see if you got them pretty hands or you got some calluses. Because I need to know when we don't have any money, are you going to go dig
Baby,
some
they
holes
just a
to make
little
sure the
action.
bills are paid, okay?
What did he tell you? It's just a little ashy.
I can do.
I had
I
a
can
little
do.
rough day.
I can do ashy because that means
And lotion me up real quick.
you're a hard-working man. You haven't had time to put
Little
lotion
step.
on. It's all good. But before you touch me, put some lotion on.
like,
Make it
right?
soft. Make it like butter. But yeah, I will approach them.
Yeah.
After I scope them out and did my little research, and yeah, sometimes I may look up your records and all that stuff if I want to know more about you and then go deeper. Yeah,
So
that's what I do.
The question is, now we could fast forward to the sex part, right? So, okay, you meet this guy, y'all already, interacting, everything is going well.
Yep.
So now, you guys, went on a couple of dates, you're comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
You're over his house, he's over your house.
You didn't answer the question.
Oh. I agree with both of you. You guys hit it right on the nutshell. You got it. So now you guys are over each other's houses, or you're over his house, he's over your house, whichever one. And you guys are feeling each other. So who ultimately takes the lead in, like getting things started and heated when it comes to sexual romance?
So normally ladies will wait on a guy, but I feel like if he was respectful and the night was really going well,
Hey.
You trust them, so hey, if you grown, do you just like I said, play it smart and safe.
Do you feel like it had something to do with like your comfort level with him? Like you have to be
Oh
comfortable?
yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely has to make me comfortable, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, and be respectful about them. I don't know. I'm real particular how they do the whole you trying to come inside thing. I don't know. You got to say it a certain way.
Oh.
Everything just have to be a certain way with that night,
So you're trying to come inside? So if a guy like
Wait, come inside your house after the date?
Yeah,
or come inside?
Or like look, I had so
because if it's like the first day, no. The first day, no.
The first date, no?
The first date.
It depends on the guy because, like I said, sometimes they can't make you feel so comfortable and the night went so well where you are doing it,
Yeah, sometimes. But then the women get judged. Like, they do it. And they be dating multiple people.
Right.
That's why it depends. I mean, it depends if you really can trust that guy where he's not going to look at you like that and y'all just really grown people that really enjoyed y'all night and that's what it led to. I always tell people let it naturally just happen, go with the flow, because I would feel more comfortable with that. Like I said, I'm a real particular person, so I have to sense that you didn't you're not. I mean, like I said, we all have our tendencies and stuff like that, but I don't want to feel like that's the only thing you're really looking forward to. And because if
you're
that
not
is, you better play that off really, really good.
Because you're not going to get it. No.
You have to show me that you don't care if I'm about to be staying over or if I'm not. And then I'm like, oh, he's not even pressed, or he's not.
Yeah.
I don't know. Definitely, as I said, he has to make me feel comfortable, So
question. I hope y'all don't mind me asking this. I'm gonna get real raw now,
as long as you answer too.
Oh, I gotta answer.
Talk about it Wednesday.
I know I'm asking all the questions, not answering. Have you ever had sex with someone after the first date?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I'll be honest here.
Okay. Have you?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Have you?
I have. I definitely have. Now, is that something that you would consider doing on a regular?
No.
Not in these days and age. Because, like, dudes, they don't care. There's guys that don't care to get... First of all, I just want to do a thing. Young people, old people, everybody who's dating, know your status.
Yeah.
Go get tested for HIV. Go get tested for STDs constantly. I mean, I went all the time and I was married. And they're like, ma'am, you are married. We can no longer give you HIV tests. Like, insurance will not pay for it.
Dang.
However, like, you can go to clinics where if you're married and you don't want your spouse to know, there are clinics and you only known as a number. Know your status. If you're going to date, and especially if you're going to be with people on the first date, know your status. Be fair. Give that person a chance to know what you have to let them choose. Not everybody's going to say no. Some people are very open-minded. Some people may have the same situation. Some people will be like, hey, let's, we were going to use a condom anyway, so it's all good. Like,
Definitely.
be open if you're going to be grown.
Absolutely.
And know your status. And yeah, so.
Yeah, that's definitely true. We want to, like I say, play it smart, play it safe.
And then you can have fun. And
Yeah.
I don't mind going out on the first date and doing that if it naturally flows.
Yeah.
Like, if I can feel your energy and you're a sweet person, I can tell when somebody just wants it. What was your question, though? Didn't you ask about making the first moves or something?
You know what? I did ask about that. So as far as making the first move on the mail, like on the first, well, at this point, I guess we already spoke about the first date thing. So now you're actually comfortable, and you guys haven't had sexual intercourse, but now you guys went on a few dates, you're comfortable with each other. As far as the approach, like, who do you feel like has to approach, like, be the first person to approach, the male or female?
And and this is just for anybody or relationships, married couples, or in general.
Single. You're single and you guys are dating. You're not in a relationship, but you're dating. But the sex,
Getting to know, but you're at that level now where you're ready.
Intercourse is coming, and of course, you guys are vibing out. You want to have it.
So that's like dating stages.
Yeah.
Part still talking. Once again, it goes back to how comfortable you feel. As far as even with the male, I guess too, you both want to be comfortable. You want to make sure each other is comfortable.
So if you're comfortable, you would.
If I feel like I'm definitely comfortable and the vibe has been going very well, then okay, I would definitely be open to it. I'm older now, so I had to learn to start making an approach. I would be honest. At first, I used to wait for the male to make that approach and everything, and then but now if I'm comfortable and I don't mind definitely making that approach.
Okay.
I just don't like it when the men expect certain things right away. And what did that say?
Yeah. So
like certain things, I'm not ready to do those acts. Like, like. I don't like when they're like expecting it and it's like, this is what we're doing.
Yeah. So mainly like that's why I like to really talk on relationships, because some people in relationships and marriage don't know when they should approach the sex, especially different age difference. I didn't talk to people like around our age or around yours or older. It don't matter, and some don't know when should I approach it. So do y'all think age really matters about that, like the age range as far as approaching it?
I think so, because I'm totally different now than I was when I was 20. Because at 20, I was definitely approaching. I was approaching. I was taking control, and maybe that's because, like, when I was younger, by being molested and all that stuff, I feel safer making the moves first because I feel like I don't feel as safe if they're making the moves first.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So it's like for personal, like definitely personal reasons. I get that.
So, and I make sure like I'm really, really shy so they know like not to touch me right away.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I don't look so flirty, but when I'm ready, I definitely let them know. But now I'm more like watch the person, I hesitate, and then if I'm flirting and they're not getting it, then I up my game with the flirting. And then if things are mutual, I guess I'm older now. I don't know.
So would you say it makes you uncomfortable if he do make that approach, even if he's being respectful about it?
Now that I'm older, I think I would be okay. I don't know because I've been in a long-term relationship for a while. But in my mind, if I'm thinking how it plays, I think I would be okay. Yeah.
It's different. Like, I think for me, it's different. Like, when I was younger, I was afraid. Versus now, and I'm all in.
Yeah. You're like, let's do this.
It's just like, I mean, we grown at the end of the day. And of course, if we're, conversing and the energy is amazing, and that's what Tiana said, like, not forcing a thing. Like, if things are not being forced, but it's just naturally coming together, I'm all over you.
A lot of guys don't understand that. They don't have to do much.
You don't have to do much. All you have to do is treat us like a woman. That's it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's it.
Absolutely.
You just sit back and play
'Cause,
cool.
yeah.
Trust me. Make sure you look.
Because that's
good
what I
and
like.
smell good.
I don't like a guy that's being too extra. I'm definitely not about to be approaching anything, and I'm gonna be mad you're approaching me. Like,
Yep.
you need to be far away. I don't like the extraness. Be yourself, yes, but
Absolutely.
just relax. Let's keep it cool. But also find vibes and stuff. Get to know each other. I just don't be trying to touch up on me too quickly, and don't be trying to get too personal in my business. But like I said, I just like good conversation, laughter, be respectful, and we'll have a good time, and then just let the flow of it, everything happen naturally. And you never know. You don't know. So it just depends on the person, though, definitely.
What about how do you guys feel about how women have double standards? Like if we were to date or to date multiple person, like we're not in any relationship, so we're free. But if we do that, we're no longer the good girl.
Oh yeah, like Jenna Rose, the male, he can date all these types of women, but if a female doing that, she's looked at different.
She's loose. She's this. If you hang out too much, the good girls, the guys that are out doing the dirty, like sleeping with all these women, they always look for that home base, that good girl. That's the main girl, while they're out and they have their side chicks. But it's like a double standard.
I feel like it depends on how you carry yourself, because I think that's like kind of like a terminology of rotational dating. So I kind of feel like it's okay to do that and date multiple people. I just feel like it depends on how you're carrying yourself when you do it. So not just being out here and freely open to every male to have access to you, but when you're rotational dating, you don't have to be loud about it. Just stay low key, do your thing. You may be talking about 10 males at a time, but
they don't need to know.
They don't need to know, and they
honestly,
won't know,
nobody should know.
Exactly.
If you're really good, nobody knows who's coming in and out of your house.
Right.
Your child won't even know if you do it right.
Absolutely, and that just all depends on how you play that role, like how you're in control of it ultimately. So it just all depends on you as a woman and how you're moving. So.
That is a very good point.
So, ladies, we had another question. Somebody wanted to know: do the man should they have a job, like as far as with Jenna Rose dealing with a female,
or who makes the most money and all that stuff?
Should they have a job?
Your face is like hell yeah.
I believe that's what I saw. Should they have a job?
How they?
Now listen, there are stay-at-home dads. Somebody got to watch the baby.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I mean, if I have money like that, I'm good. If you gonna wash the dishes, wash the clothes, change the diapers, make the milk, and fix my lunch, baby, you ain't gotta work. I got you. All I gotta do is come home, make love to you, kiss my babies, play with them, and help them with their homework, and.
But you're working. You're the one.
I'm working. If
I
I make enough money to do that,
and
somebody has to do it.
It depends. Like if you and somebody you're dating that's okay with that, definitely go for it. I don't want nobody to get into what other people are doing. Like if that's what you feel comfortable, if a woman feel comfortable doing that, and a man is okay with doing that, then kudos and cheers to y'all.
And he's still my king. I would still give him the paycheck, let him pay the bills. I'm okay with that. I'm not cutting off his balls because he's not working.
Yeah.
He's working.
Yeah.
If you respect me being the housewife, I respect you as being the house husband. And you're still my covering. I still submit. I still give you the check and you still pay the bills. If you still want me to pay the bills. However you choose to do it as my husband, I will do it.
I'm gonna be honest with you, because like I said, I'm a little old school, so I still like when a man work. And if you are at home, because it's something that the floors need to be done. They know how to do that, and you need some drywall up, ceilings, toilets. So I
do that. They're still a man. They're still gonna do that.
Yeah. So some aspect, because a man naturally, in my opinion, they like to move around and do things. So. as long as I'm still saying that, because I like to see a productive man. I like to. I don't want you to be overworking yourself, you know. But I like to see a man going out doing his thing, or even if it's at home, do a home business or something. Like I like seeing. I don't know. I'm
You
really
like seeing
into
him physically
ambitious
doing
men.
something. Oh,
Yeah.
ambitious man.
Yeah, that's I don't know. That's just like
That's
a
a good
turn up.
point,
Yeah.
yeah.
So like I said, even
That
if
is
you at
sexy,
home,
isn't it?
even if you're at home and I see you working on projects or you learning something and stuff like that, I like to still see a man be productive. You know, so
That is sexy too,
yeah.
though. Seeing a man work.
Yeah.
I love seeing my man fix things,
Yeah, I
build
just like
things,
that.
work on my car. To me, it's foreplay. When I see a tool in a man's hand and they're
Yep.
getting their hands dirty, I'm like,
don't
when
touch
you
you, huh?
done fixing my car.
Just
Actually,
don't touch
this literally just happened last weekend. I was like, when you done fixing my car, I'm gonna take care of you. It was total foreplay, and he hurried up and fixed all the things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lady C, you got something for us?
Yes, Lisa. She says, if the day went well, I would make the first move. I did with my husband.
Ooh.
I was very
Ain't she
aggressive.
married?
Ladies.
Tawana, my girl,
Hey,
says
mama.
hello, everyone.
Hey, mama.
Zara says,
That's my sister.
I think us ladies have to make the first move in that situation, or should.
Which one, in
That's
the
my
bedroom?
sister. Yeah.
You said that's my sister.
Yeah, yep.
Tawana says, great conversations, ladies. And then she says to Zara, I'm glad you're listening.
Yeah, she's in North Carolina. Yep.
And Tawana says, facts. Lisa. So what happens is the woman approach the man is not comfortable. What would you think of him?
I
The
do
woman approached the man
hear
that's
some
not
men
comfortable?
say that a woman is too aggressive.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
yeah.
saying. You
That's
know,
what the
just
caller
like
was
how we
saying
said, a man
about
can't be
the
doing
woman
too
is to
much
stay in their
as a
place.
woman too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She
some
says-
men they be like.
She
go
says
ahead,
in
go
the beginning, a conversation should be had before taking it to the next level
Yeah.
to
Yep.
establish mutual consent.
Yeah.
Then let the next move happen naturally.
Yep.
Yes,
That's the
yeah,
approach.
That's what
naturally.
Rodney did.
That's
Yeah. Now
really
he's
the
engaged.
approach. Like
I'm
once
telling
we
you.
start conversing, that's the approach for sure.
Yes.
So
I'm
yeah.
telling you, that formula works. If my son at 24 is engaged, he had the conversation, he let the woman know, they both agreed on what they
Right.
want as dating, as well as if this dating works out, how would we plan our relationship as husband and wife?
Yep.
How would we parent? My son gets down to how he wants his children fed. Because even though he's Christian, he does not want his children to eat pork. And he has some other things about dairy and some other stuff about how to eat healthy.
Right.
And it was very important to him, and he made it known to his fiance. So, but it all started in that conversation, and that was the first one where he laid down everything he expects. Because he's like, I'm not going to keep dating people and turn out like we're not a match. I can find that out on the first date.
Yep.
Wow.
Okay. Yep.
That's amazing. That's really good.
So, as far as the younger ladies, what do you think we should let them know as far as how to go about gender roles, or if they dating, just figuring out their role?
Just
I would say to the younger ladies, and this is something that my mom still tells me to this day, and I know a lot of people may look at this as like have their nose turned, but based on my experience, I would say make a meal wait. Like I know that that's one thing that nowadays our generation is not huge on just making them wait. But honestly, from my experience, me making a meal wait has I've seen the respect level from making them wait versus the first night.
Yep.
And sometimes when you go in on the first night, it's just like, dang, I should have made them wait, but I didn't. Now you just got to mentally prepare yourself for if they don't treat you the way that you want to be treated.
You might not get that second phone call.
You may not.
Because that's
and
all
it
they
hurts.
wanted.
It hurts.
It does hurt.
Yeah.
But I would say, like, to the younger generation, make them wait.
Yeah.
You know, they will respect you more. They will, be more into you. But yeah.
And just because the night it went well doesn't mean that's what they have to get in return.
Absolutely.
Because if it was one good date, if they really want to spend time with you, it'll be a second one and it'll be a third, and it will keep going. So if I shouldn't have to give you myself because you giving me a good date. So just always keep that in mind as well. Stay true to yourself. Just know what you want and know what you're not going to tolerate. And stand on it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So I agree. I just piggyback off of them for the young ladies. If you want the men to love you, and they will hang around, trust me. If you have them wait, they will hang around and they will treat you like a queen. If they're the right man, they will still do everything for you. You don't owe them anything. They take you on a meal. This was my struggle, so I don't want you guys to have this struggle. You are worth it. Yeah. You are worth an $80 dinner. You are worth jewelry. You are worth them opening the door every second. And they can do it over and over again for month after month after month. You do not owe them anything.
Right.
They're doing it, first of all, because they choose to do it. That's what they choose to do. Because they know your value and you know your value. So,
and another thing I want to say, because we're talking about gender roles, know your role. When you learn your role, and then you present it, and then other people know, it will show. It will show. So learn your role, learn to love yourself, treat yourself. So you're not waiting for someone to do that all the time for you. Learn to treat yourself, and like I said, know your role, so that way you can present it well when you go out, to that next other gender.
And you mean like know your role, like it's okay if you're an alpha female or something like that, so you could have a balanced relationship.
Yeah, I feel like I know my role more better because I'm more in tune with myself. I'm more aware. I know what I want more. So that's what I said. People need to take that time first. Yeah. Because most people learn gender roles when they already with somebody else, and you can learn your role and what you want with yourself first.
Yeah. So not necessarily your role, but just know how you want to carry yourself in a relationship.
Yeah.
Gender roles, it's a made up word. It's a made up thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I know what the Bible says and that, but it's what you create with your partner as far as the gender role. So you got to know, like Tiana said, Queen T, know yourself and know how you want to present yourself in a relationship.
And within yourself, I'm a firm believer, and you have to know yourself. Yes. And you have to know what you want, and just know yourself in general in order to attract what you want. So if you don't know yourself, or if you don't even know what you want, how are you going to attract that? You have to become what you want to attract.
Oh,
that's the ultimate goal. If you want big money, big baller, rich,
what we do when we want it. What we do when we want it, sis.
You have to become that.
No, what you always like to do. What you like to do? Whatever you want, what do you mainly like to do?
Manifest
yes,
it.
That's what I'm saying. Manifest it. Yes,
Manifest
it. Yeah, I know. That's something you always like to do, and you like to talk about. So
absolutely.
Definitely you can manifest it.
Manifest self-care, self-confidence, and just, knowing yourself, knowing your worth.
Just let people know the time.
And it'll all fall into place. But you got to know how you want to be treated. You got to just learn those things about yourself.
All right. So. Yes. All right. So y'all want to say some final words? We got like 3 minutes left. 3 minutes left. I'll start. I definitely want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you for supporting our PTP, People to People program. Thank you for everybody that comments. This is every Wednesday. We'll be doing this with me and Chrissy. We're going to be giving y'all different topics. Just make sure you like, share, and subscribe as well. So definitely want to do that. And anybody else want anything?
What's your Instagram and your Facebook?
So my Instagram page is Just Call T. And that's an Instagram. And Facebook is Tiana Bill. So you can find me on there also as well.
Okay. So, hey, thank you for tuning in. This is People to People. I just want you guys to know that I want you guys to take this very into consideration, who you are, gender roles or not, it doesn't matter. Just communicate with your partner how you want to do your relationship. And thank you for tuning in. Tune in every Wednesday to People. We will be here from 7 to 8. And my Facebook is Christy McMillan, McMillian. And my Instagram is McMillan Soul Source. So it's McMillan underscore soul underscore source for Instagram. But you can just find me on People to People, you guys.
Yeah.
I'm here Wednesdays from 7 to 8. Me and Queen T will be talking about everything under the sun. Thank you for tuning in. And Nikki.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I had an amazing night
I'm
just
glad.
conversing with you guys. The energy was definitely unmatched. So I appreciate you guys so much for having me on the People to People show. I appreciate all of you. And yeah, hopefully I get to join you guys again. I'm out in the Atlanta, Georgia area. So whenever I come home to the DMV, I like to show love to my folks.
Yes.
You guys can find me on Instagram at IamNikkiC_. That's IamNikkiC_. And my Facebook is Nicole Cross. Thank you guys so much.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
Hey, thank you guys.
Yes. People to people, positive thinking people, and power to the people. Yes. Yes, good. That was great.
Yes, thank you.
Cheers, ladies.
Yes. I know I'm a little last drop.
Oh,
I was like, yes. Girl, talk.
Yes.
That was good.
Positive thinking people.
Yes.
That's you guys.
It's not about you.
It's about we.
It's about me.
We own the rights to this music. PTP. Positive thinking people.
I was like, I better not spill no bread on my white shirt. Like, let me keep it cute.
Yes.
Cute.
This
Don't
was
just
so
let me
awesome.
talk to plate on.
You had such good ideas and good
I
topics.
know.
Good
Yes.
questions, girl. You got me.
I know. I know me too, yes. Yeah. Yes, definitely.
Hey, cranberry juice is good.
Yep. You love your cranberry juice too.
Every shot.
Yes. You better know it. You better know it.
Positive
so funny.
thinking people.
That was good, yeah.
Really enjoyed it.
I'm glad. I'm so glad you came. Oh my gosh.
We gotta have you again real
I
soon.
know.
You gotta call in when you're home.
Oh yeah, even you can call.
You gotta
me
shake it up.
I am.
Yeah. Look at my sister Kate calling right now.
Positive thinking. Look at Rodney.
We got it,
night.
Rodney.
Every Wednesday night.
Yeah, so.
Oh yeah, you guys. Friday night's next. Date night. Hey, Lady Z and Rodney.